What's up, everybody? Just want to take a second to shout out our local sponsor, one of our local sponsors for Last Wave Games and Last Wave Podcast. This is The Spot, Toys and Comics. It's in Newton, North Carolina. This is their Facebook page. They are a toys and comics and, oh my gosh, all kinds of stuff store. They've got games, comics, toys, vintage collectibles, all the way to DVDs, Blu-rays. They've got statues. They've got Gundam, Zoids, Power Rangers, pretty much everything. Funko Pops, and some of the hottest, newest board games that are out, and tabletop games as well as graded comic books. You can see right there. Plenty of Funko Pops, all the stuff you need for Magic the Gathering, Yu-Gi-Oh, Pokemon, all your trading card games, and as well as supplies like comic book bags, comic book backs, all that good stuff. So check them out if you're in the Hickory, Morganton, Conover, Charlotte area. Newton, North Carolina is just a little short drive up the road. Great little store, great local sponsor. Really appreciate what they do. Everybody should go check them out if they get a chance. Follow them and like them on Facebook as well. On with the show. What's up, everybody? Welcome back. Finally back to recording. Welcome to another new episode of the Last Wave Podcast. We deal with topics like ghosts, UFOs, cryptids, conspiracies, pretty much anything under the weird and paranormal umbrella. Joined once again here today with both co-hosts, Brando and Buster.
Howdy ho, what up?
So, they do not know what the topic of today is. If you saw the very misleading title I'll probably come up with, you don't know yet either.
Yeah, I'm terrified.
So, this is either going to be complete gibberish, or it's going to be some kind of scientific breakthrough of the last, 1,000 years.
I'm ready for some kind of profound breakthrough, bro.
All breakthroughs in any field was once just gibberish to somebody.
That's true. That's a good way. That's a very good way to put it.
Whispers of a madman.
Yeah.
So, where to begin? All right. So to preface this, I wrote these notes, just strolling through the internet, running through books that I have laying around here at 2 a.m. So it's going to be a little bit sporadic. I'm going to try to hold it together and just read from my notes. So bear with us.
Good luck.
All right. So you guys know of the Philosopher's Stone.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Nicholas Flamel.
Isn't that the Sorcerer's Stone?
It's the same thing.
It's the same thing. Right. So it is. Right. So we'll get there. Okay. We'll get there. So my theory, and it's kind of always intrigued me, is what this thing is. Is it real? Is it not real? And I'm not sure if I heard it on another podcast or just random research that got me sparked into looking into it again. My theory was that it was amber was the Philosopher's Stone due to its color, which the Philosopher's Stone is usually noted to be reddish in color and is known to be able to change and transmute things. That was a very uneducated guess that I just thought was cool because you can, amber can do stuff. It can be molded, it can be melted down because it's actually just old tree sap.
Can it be melted?
I'm assuming it can. I
guess all rocks
you
can
be
melted.
Yeah, you can. You can do things with it, and it's not a normal. To the vintage science, it would seem to be a stone, because if you remember from Jurassic Park, it looks like he had it on his cane. So that was my original theory. And remember, the stone is also noted to have healing properties. It's usually noted as reddish and has the ability, as the most well-known thing, to transmute metals, lead into gold.
Now, what gets me is is it created through the spiritual alchemy?
Well, there is some kind of spiritual stuff, and like I said, there's notes in here that'll get us to the more spiritual realm. So in Renaissance, however you want to say it, alchemy, there was this word I found called the alkahest, which is Alkahest, and it was theorized in alchemy to be the universal solvent. It was supposed to be capable of dissolving other substances, including gold, without altering or destroying its fundamental components. Alkahest, which is thought to be an undiscovered element from which all other elements, earth, fire, water, air, were simply derivative forms of. The ancient scientist Paracelsus believed that this element was in fact the Philosopher's Stone.
So dissolving the substance without destroying its fundamental components.
Mm-hmm.
So it's reducing it to its basic
Form,
but while keeping it genuine.
That sounds right. Sure. I mean, as far as like an uneducated, person who just did some internet research and it does not know a lot about alchemy, that sounds right. Yeah. Well, let's see. Where if at? All right. First main mention of the alkahest as a chemical which could fortify the liver. Or sorry, this is another reference to it. And in instances where the liver failed, could act as a substitute for its functions. And it gives a big, ancient text that's from. But by reducing or dissolving substances into their fundamental virtues and properties, it was hoped to gain control of those invaluable medical healing properties. And for this reason, the alkahest, also known as Ignis Gehenna, was earnestly sought for, and the reality or otherwise of its existence was debated among alchemists and philosophers.
What does that Ignis Gehenna mean?
So I don't know what
Yeah,
you want to look up.
Gehenna actually kind of means hell, and Ignis is fire.
Well, yeah. Ignis is
Right.
definitely fire.
So hellfire.
So okay, so that's even better because I didn't actually look up that part, but that'll tie in at the end. So I'm basically going to try to tie a lot of very loose knots together, and they'll be together at the end. Okay. So this alkahest chemical, just like the Philosopher's Stone, was said to be able to dissolve things, transmute things, and can also have slight healing properties. An interesting note here: the alchemist thought to have written the Voynich manuscript, which I think we've covered in the show, and I'm sure Buster, you know about it. Do you know the Voynich manuscript? It's this old book that people aren't sure if it's a hoax or if it's like some kind of weird alchemical text. Like it's got weird plants.
It's kind of like more of a tome.
Yeah, it's an old tome of just wild things. But the person who is allegedly thought to have created that was the first person to make gunpowder. Okay, gunpowder, charcoal, sulfur, saltpeter. Now think about the sulfur. Okay. All right. So is the Philosopher's Stone in the alkahest in powdered form or in whole form? Again, I'm trying to tie this together.
So just say it wouldn't be in liquid form.
It could be in liquid form.
Because if it's being diluted and dissolved by a solvent, you'd think it would be liquid.
Yeah, it could be in liquid.
Right.
So that led my thoughts to, okay, so reddish stone, what makes stones red? Rust, possibly. I was thinking maybe iron, because it has a reddish hue. Iron and potassium are both needed to ensure our bodies are running at the best way to work and support a number of bodily functions. But both iron and potassium are essential minerals, meaning the only way to really obtain them is to take them into your body. I have potassium hydroxide and iron. Potassium hydrate is caustic and alkali acid and dissolves other materials. So again, we have this thing that is partnered with iron, which is a reddish stone. Potassium hydrate is caustic. It's an alkali, much like the alkahest other material. So again, the universal solvent alkahest, it was supposed to be capable of dissolving other substances. Alkali, alkahest, we made that connection. And again, that's not really me drawing a connection. That's just the etymology of the two words. Okay. It was these qualities. Go ahead.
Always good to know.
Yeah, etymology is amazing. But it was these qualities which made the alkahest distinct from ordinary corrosive materials. And I put a side note here. It could be mercury sulfide, which contains sulfur, as above. The man who created the gunpowder. Mercury sulfide. Okay, this led me down an unexpected term. Mercury sulfide in crystal form is cinnabar, a reddish crystal. Okay, again, if we go back to Paracelsus's own recipe for the alkahest, was made from caustic lime, alcohol, and carbonate of potash, or potassium potash.
So who made that again?
That was a scientist known as Paracelsus.
Paracelsus.
That's what it says. All right, so, and again, I'm bouncing around, but we're going to tie it together, I promise.
You know, I was like watching something that said that, or it was, what's the word, insinuating that mercury has been made out to be like very toxic to us, when in reality it's not.
Mm-hmm.
So people like insinuate that
Avoid it like the
mercury.
plague.
Yeah.
So people think that mercury is actually a lot more useful and like profound of a material than we're led to believe.
So that will actually come up later in this story.
Okay.
So a good synchronicity.
Nice.
All right, so I have another note here from Tobias Ludwig Kohlhans in 1705 suggested in his dissertation of the spleen that the alkahest could be found in the lymphatic system or lymphatic vessels of animals. Organ meat is high in iron. So again, we have another tying to iron, minerals, things that we need for our bodies, healing properties, etc., etc.
I love organ meats. I'll eat them all day, every day.
That's good.
Okay,
That is
I mean,
good. They're
you
allegedly good for you.
No, they're great. I can feel it. I feel like my testicles get larger when I eat liver.
That's not our new T-shirt.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not opposed to it.
So, all right, let's see. So here's another note. Again, bear with us. So this change would be mediated by a substance which came to be called exerion, Xerion in Greek, and al-iksir in Arabic, from which we get the word elixir.
Elixir.
Yeah, it was often considered to exist as a dry red powder known as alkybrit or red sulfur, made from a legendary stone. Also could be known as the Philosopher's Stone, and the elixir powder came to be regarded as a crucial component of transmutation by later Arab alchemists. Red sulfur comes from cinnabar. So again, I was on the trail of iron and making good headway, but now everything keeps coming up with cinnabar at this point. Okay, cinnabar is also used in ways to hold on, try to catch up with notes here. So, are you guys slightly following along?
I would say at least slightly.
At least slightly. I know.
least,
Believe
yeah.
me, it was tough to keep up with myself. All right, so let's see here. The red sulfur is sought after and a rare working principle which turns base metals into gold. Now, this is on a spiritual term, or used to indicate highly personal spiritual realization or vision of great rarity. Finding one's spiritual guide is often referred to as finding the red sulfur. So again, we have this other connection with red sulfur.
Alchemical symbolisms.
Yeah, the internal alchemy and the external. Mercuric sulfite, cinnabar, as mentioned, is again a stone with a reddish hue. Mercury, a mercuric sulfite. Mercury is a major toxic metal, ranking in top toxic substances list. Cinnabar contains mercury sulfite and has been used in traditional medicines for thousands of years as an ingredient for various remedies. And around 40 cinnabar containing traditional medicines are still used today. Little is known about the toxicology profiles or what is called toxicokinetics of cinnabar and cinnabar containing traditional medicines. And the high mercury content in these Chinese medicines raises justifiably the escalations of public concern. And by Chinese medicines, I mean more ancient Chinese medicine, not not as much as you can just get from anywhere.
Not CCP.
Yeah.
Pharmaceuticals.
Dude, I swear I was watching this video where this guy had liquid mercury, and he said that and then drank it too.
Mhm.
Like he said, only when you do something to mercury does it become toxic, but it in its liquid form, like the quicksilver,
Yeah.
was not an issue. And he straight up drank it.
It's brave.
Maybe he'll be dead in a month's time. I
Maybe
don't
he'll
know,
be Superman.
but
Yeah.
yeah, he might. Right, he might like transcend
It's very possible.
everything, man.
But like you see where Mercury is used in anti-gravitational
Right.
mechanics.
Very true.
Because it's a liquid metal, right?
Yeah. So it is. It is a liquid metal. There's also another weird metal that can melt at room temperature, like in your hand, and I don't remember the name of it. I seen it on a Discovery Channel show where they found it in rocks, and these guys were just picking it up, and it would melt as they were passing it around.
That's insane.
Yeah. So following on the etymology a little bit,
Like chocolate.
yeah, they would be like, guys, look at this, and it was like shaking, like mercury. It looked just like mercury. But following on the etymology of it, looking at and you guys might recognize this, the Cintamani or Chintamani stone from Hindu and Buddhist belief. Cintamani, Cin, is the first three letters, much like Cinnabar. Is a wish. So the Chintamani stone or Cintamani stone is a wish fulfilling jewel within the both Hindu and Buddhist traditions.
How do you spell that?
It's showing Cintamani. Cintamani. But it's a wish fulfilling jewel in both traditions, said by some to be the equivalent of the Philosopher's Stone, and in Western alchemy is one of several mani jewels found in Buddhist scripture. By reciting the Dharani, a small hymn of Cintamani, Buddhist tradition maintains that one attains the wisdom of Buddha and is able to understand the truth of the Buddha and turn inflictions into bodhi. It is also said to allow one to see, basically see into other realms, sees that kind of thing. Basically noted for its enlightenment and things like that, and is also noted as enlightening in Muslim traditions as well. It goes on to say in one of the Bhagavad
Gita.
Anyone can obtain a piece of glass and sometimes a piece of gold, but not everyone can obtain a centimani because it is most rare. Similarly, the pleasures of heaven and liberation are easily achieved, but prima bhakti is extremely rare. Glass made with sulfur particles, gold is transmuted. So again, we have this centimani, cinnabar, transmuting, enlightenment, health benefits connection. Okay, cinnabar again contains mercury sulfide, has been used again for 2,000 years in traditional medicines and in Indian Ayurvedic medicines, which is where you get the Hindu Buddhist influence. So again, this cinnabar used for medicine, it's all starting to, I'm starting to pull some of these threads together. Mercury in traditional Chinese medicines mainly comes from cinnabar, deliberately included for the therapeutic purposes based on the pharmacopoeia of China. So cinnabar is known to be a healing property. In its associations with blood are believed to make cinnabar incredibly supportive for treating blood disorders, viral infections, and fungal infections. The mineral is also thought to increase the formation of white blood cells and enhance your immunity. Therefore, it would literally make you live longer to take the medicine. Like most gemstones, you can use cinnabar as a healing stone to support your physical, mental, and emotional well-being. Similar to other red gemstones, cinnabar crystals symbolize warmth, sexuality, revolution, and power. Its transformative energy is said to improve and protect your life at every level. Cinnabar is used to heal your root chakra, located at the base of your spine. This chakral energy point is your hub of stability, security, and vitality, or known as the survival center. So again, we go back to cinnabar.
I'm gonna have to get me some of this.
Right? So cinnabar could be a possible example for the Philosopher's Stone. Okay? Another instance, and I'm going to try to pronounce this, but I'm going to say the Belch Glass Mine in Carignan, which is in the Welsh area, or the Wales area in the UK, noted the presence of very rare cinnabar in underground workings as brick red powdery spots and gossamer cerussite bearing material. So basically, a cinnabar mine.
Is it not kind of ironic that that would be right there where the Druids were?
It is right there where the Druids were, and right up the road in South Wales, cinnabar has been visually identified within the extensively developed mine at this location. Cinnabar, again found in multiple mines above in Wales, uh, takes me to another legend, the legend of what's called the Grail Stone. And the Grail Stone comes from a legend involving King Arthur, where Munselvesh, and that's probably not said correctly, castle, the home of Parzival, in the original legend of the Grail Stone, is in the same land as King Arthur's realm and Wales. And the legend goes that the angels who remained neutral during the rebellion of Lucifer are now its custodians. Then it was brought to earth, this stone, and entrusted to Titurul, the first Grail King. It is guarded in the splendid castle of Munselvesh. The original Grail Stone in the written legend is said to have come from the crown of Lucifer. So Lucifer, reddish, sulfur related, red sulfur, and that's my connection to that.
Ignis Gehenna.
Ignis Gehenna, hellfire.
Hellfire.
Which brings me to my conclusion that cinnabar is the Philosopher's Stone.
Ooh.
Yes.
That's heavy, brother.
Like 4 hours of finding notes and crap.
4 hours of rabbit holing.
Yes. Digging.
Well, we knew who Parzival was.
It's
Percival?
it's like an old.
He was the guy who single-handedly went after the Holy Grail.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So that crap again, that stone, the Grail Stone is said to have fallen from Lucifer's crown when he fell to Earth. I believe it was said.
You know, parallel here. The Silmarillion.
Mm-hmm.
The Silmarils.
Yeah.
And then he made a crown of all three of them in it.
Oh, okay. That is. I mean, that's from that area. That's from that area too. The Druidic. Because it wasn't that what Tolkien said he got it from,
He
like
based it off
the
of
legends of that land.
It was the Celtic mythology mixed with like Finnish and Norse and Roman mythology.
Yeah.
Because he was like kind of big into like Catholicism.
Yeah, I seen a video of him the other day where he was like, I thought to myself, what if I could write an extensively, long novel, or not a novel. The words he used were way better than mine, but he just like had that thought, and then he did it. And like,
how's that for self-actualization?
Yeah, for manifestation. My God.
If we had, in all honesty, like as far as like Tolkien goes and his career, he is like the crown jewels of the human condition. Like,
yeah,
he straight up self-actualized.
Yeah, literal manifestation.
Even after World War One.
Well, he had far less distractions than we did.
Yeah, we distracted.
Like all these monitors, all these electronics are purely just distractions.
Hypnotic mirrors.
Yeah.
And even in knowing that, we allow ourselves to be, influenced by them so much.
Yeah, it's just a way of life. Well, I think what was it said whenever they first came out with TVs? Like people would never sit around all day and watch these things, And then now, what do people do? Sit around all day and watch them. But yeah, so to close that first half of the show, comment down below if I'm completely wrong or if I've missed a bunch of shenanigans, because I could be wrong. And I want to tie in this last part that I saw today because I was looking up for thumbnails for this episode. And if you look up the Sorcerer's Stone from Harry Potter,
right,
it looks just like what you would imagine the Philosopher's Stone would, which is a red stone that has rocks attached to it. So it literally looks.
It's literally supposed to be the same thing.
Yeah.
Like, it's even created by Nicholas Flamel, which was like he was in the pursuit of finding this elixir of immortality. And I mean, there it is.
Yeah, that's literally the story.
That's the whole story right there.
And it's a reddish stone.
And he was said to have lived for hundreds of years.
Nicholas Flamel.
Nicholas Flamel.
How did he meet his end?
Isn't that in the movie? I can't remember. I haven't seen that movie forever.
I would say Voldemort killed him, but we can't say his name.
Oh, that's okay. Is there a real world Nicholas Flamel?
Yes.
And how old did he live to be?
He's the one that came to find this stone.
Wait, that's a character from the movie.
But there's also a real world.
There's a real world.
Oh, like a real world person.
Yeah.
So you could buy like Cinnabar jewelry, like beaded bracelets and stuff.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so I was looking that up.
Brilliant red.
Yeah, that's exactly. And then this is the picture I got from.
That is a beautiful rock.
It is like an upscale model of what the. Shoot, where's my things? Of what the. Sack of crap. I must say the computer. But what the actual stone will look like in the Sorcerer's Stone, it looks just like that. So yeah, comment down below what everybody thinks.
Nicholas Flamel was a real person born in Pontoise.
Pontoise.
That sounds French.
French in around 1330. He was a successful scribe and bookseller. After his death in 1418, rumors began circulating that he had learned alchemical secrets on a pilgrimage to Santiago de Compostela in northwestern Spain. So he is indeed a real character from the 13th
Maybe he's
century.
Sorry. So like again, so that's what I did when I had like my little like single episode by myself last time. Yeah. Is I was going over talking about this guy, and I still got to do a longer episode on, but his name was Simon the Magus or Simon Magus. And I found him from looking from an audiobook about Jesus' time, talking about a guy named Simeon who met the baby Jesus at the gates to the temple, and he held the baby Jesus, and he declared, like with his song or just thing or whatever, that he was the Messiah. And in the Wikipedia and the whatever research, it says at the bottom also see Simon Magus, and I'm like, Magus? That means, magician, magic
man,
etc.
Seer of stars.
Right. So I started looking at it, and he was, and it never says how old Simeon is, that person that sees Jesus. But Simon Magus was a person who actually was a sorcerer, and he claimed that he was the Christ. And he was one of the people that originally came up with the freaking idea for like the Gnostic stuff, like Sophia. Mm-hmm. And he said that God had a thought, and God's first thought was female, creating Sophia. And Sophia and the angels created Earth as a prison for Sophia, the thought. So our consciousness is in a prison here on Earth, basically, is what his...
No, was it them that proposed the demiurge?
I think so. Again, there's like a lot of more in-depth. I found like a whole big old paper on the guy. And it's just some random dude in the Bible times that like mainstream people have never heard of. And he's the guy that walked around. He did miracles. He levitated to the point where like one of the disciples, I believe it was Peter, had to go in. It was somebody he disagreed with. Basically, he was levitating in the air. And he's like, if your God is so powerful, have him strike me down. And the dude went to praying, and he came out of the air and like allegedly broke an ankle or something. Like he straight down. So I want us to do some episodes in the future on like unknown
the
people.
3 wise men. They were the Magi.
The Magi, yeah.
The Magi comes from an Egyptian thing.
I believe it is Egyptian or Arabic, yeah.
Or you get into the Cushites down there.
Yeah, the Cushites. Somebody's gonna be like, "What kind of?" They're gonna think it's an actual place. What else was there? So there was that. But yeah, I just thought it was really cool finding like all these people that like mainstream people don't really know about. Just some random dude during that time. But yeah, the Philosopher's Stone. It's probably Cinnabar. It might not be. I have no idea. Yeah, fun stuff.
It's like, I've always thought that the Philosopher's Stone was literally like created from the spiritual alchemical manifestation.
Yeah, and it very well could, like, again, this is me looking for a physical one, but there's plenty of references to it being a more metaphysical thing. You know, we already had the Alchemy Within episode, and it does talk about, you know, your root chakra and your liver and how the liver makes all this stuff, and the medicinal purposes of the Philosopher's Stone could help your, you know, organs and things like that. So it very well could be an inner working type thing, for sure.
But that's one of the great mysteries.
The great one, yeah, honestly, one of the great mysteries that's still around. Like, no one's actually been able to really pinpoint what it is, even after all these years, which I found fascinating. Anytime like a mystery has sustained thousands of years is interesting. Um, like, it still baffles me that we don't know what happened to that plane, that MH370. Like, with all the tech we got, you know, we don't know nothing.
I don't think that, like, obviously, like surveillance and control and like the knowledge of like the powers that be are getting to be more and more like great, but I feel like you ever heard like the term security theater? Like it's a facade. How much like
power someone
how
really
much
has.
power and control?
Well, I mean that's Sun Tzu, man. Remember, appear strong when you are weak, and appear weak when you are strong.
Oh yeah, that's true.
And it's like,
we certainly do try to do that
they're
here.
Constantly bombarding everybody with like dread. I mean, does it make you feel helpless, make you feel powerless? I mean, it's a psychological warfare.
Yeah, it is. It's psychological. It's
like literally, we have all the power.
People don't know something unless you tell them.
Yeah.
Like, you know, you think like you do anything bad and like they're just gonna come get you because they automatically know it was you or they're gonna find out. But I mean, in all reality, they don't.
Yeah, it's probably bigger fish to fry. Anyway.
They just don't. I mean, where the plane went seems pretty. That seems like an important fish to fry. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. But I don't know.
I know we're running back to the tomes. You remember, I can't remember what it is. It's some kind of grimoire. You know what a grimoire is?
Oh, I know it's like I know the term.
There's something. It was like some kind of like ancient, like dark grimoire that was uncovered, and it was like had all kinds of weird symbols and spells in it that nobody could understand. It's pretty wild, man. I was reading it when we was in Florida last year.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure there's like, I mean, even if you start branching that big old the secret teachings of all ages.
Yeah.
I mean, that's an approach. That's a thing to approach in itself. You know, with that whole just book.
Oh, dude.
I mean, it's absurd.
The Initiates of the Flame. It's like that big compared to that one, but I mean, it was so much information in like the small amount of pages that get really open your eyes, you know. Being like the pyramids is like if you hollow it out and look at it like that, it's like a excursion of the brain itself.
Oh yeah, like you talking about like the way the shafts and everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Very wild.
Yeah.
And, there was a little piece about Shangri-La, like a certain space that a mental plane. It's all. It may be even a parallel to like the underworld.
Yeah.
Like the inner world.
Yeah, no, it's often linked to Agartha because it's said that Mount Shasta is one of the other big entrances.
Wait, Shasta? Where is Shasta?
I think where is Mount Shasta? Is that Canada, California, somewhere West Coast, Alaska, somewhere over there. But you got Shangri-La or Shambhala, however whatever you go with. That's in the.
I thought Mount Shasta was in Europe.
Hindu. The what?
I thought it was in Europe somewhere.
I don't think it's in Europe.
I think it's Shasta City in California.
Yeah, I thought it was out west somewhere.
It would be.
Isn't Mount Shasta where that guy found? He went into like some cavern and he found in there. And there was like giant skeletons, and then when he went to go, he finally got a crew together to go like.
They were gone.
No, to do like an expedition. He went missing that same day.
That would track. Well, I mean, that also makes a lot of sense because, California, once upon a time before it became not an island anymore, it was considered the island of giants.
Mm-hmm.
It was an island?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, yeah, if you look at like certain old maps, it's like an island by itself. It was even said that like it was like an island of like Amazonians.
The black Amazonian women.
Yeah, like they had like a Queen Khalifi, like or something like that. That's what I say.
I think it was Khalifa.
Something like that. It was Cali something, but that's where
California come from.
Yeah.
Huh.
That's what I'm saying, man.
Wow,
if people start like reading and like actually doing some research, even if it just opens your mind a little bit to the possibility of stuff.
But once you start seeing these like connections, like things start to make sense, and then it opens up that the wonder,
Yeah.
Most people don't want to think or wonder. They want
to be spoon-fed information.
Yeah, because it gives them a level of security and stability, like to think they know what they know is like true.
Yeah.
It gives them like a level of power, within themselves, But like to know you don't know anything, and to know how messed up everything and everything's a lie and you've been lied to, it can be kind of dreadful if you let it get to you.
Like,
it's gross.
We just watched Truman Show the other day again, just for reiteration.
Mm.
And like, that is such a sad movie.
Yeah.
But that is also a reflection of the goings on in our world too.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he's living under a dome.
Yeah.
He was the first child to be legally adopted by a corporation, and the man who's the grand architect of this
show, this fiasco
world, essentially.
Oh yeah.
Christoph, break it down.
Christ
of.
Yeah. There, movies, man.
The truth in movies.
Yeah. But I think that's pretty much the whole topics that we've got for this episode. We hope everyone, at least if not learned something, you find something new you want to research. And again, comment, do something in the comments. Come up with your own research. Tell me I'm completely wrong. I love talking to people and chatting about it. We love learning.
Feedback is always good to have because it's good to bounce thoughts.
It is, and that's what we're here for. We're here to help people think and to help ourselves think, because Lord knows our research is not bulletproof. So.
To think of without this recording medium, it would all simply be just ramblings of madmen.
Mm-hmm.
But who's to tell?
Yeah. So that is very important. I was trying to think about that the other day about madman and rambling and all that stuff. And without the weird people and like rule breakers, cycle changers, without those people,
the revolutionaries,
we wouldn't know anything. Like
it was those who had the will to question and rebel. It was like that was what was the birth of the philosopher, because it was anybody can ask who, what, when, where, but once you start breaking into the realms of why, that's when the philosopher truly blossoms.
We need to get us some togas, and we need to go out into the streets.
Let's start this drinking.
Yeah. Listen, gather round.
Listen.
Who is story time?
Doth thou understandeth where thine cometh from?
I think because we need that.
That would be an amazing bit.
Yeah, even do it like for real, like even downtown somewhere you go sit down and just have some people chilling on a bench.
It's like over there in downtown Hickory, we can slide over to the little communal district.
Yeah.
And, throw the togas on. Pour us a glass of wine and start harassing people.
Yeah, most people probably would think it's harassing.
See, it is definitely harassing.
Yeah.
But
beauty's in the eye of the beholder.
Soliciting, come buy us a shirt. We're out here doing modern day philosophy, and if you buy our shirt, which it specifically says purely academic,
you'll help enlighten other people in the future.
It'll not only spark interest into what academia really is, but it also help us expand our marketing and our personal endeavors.
Right. Purely academic t-shirts now on sale. Check the Facebook page. I'll put up an ad for him again.
I think not only do we need to throw some togas in there, we might need to have a couple hats made out of tinfoil.
That
I'm talking like
you can do everything you need.
A ball cap,
yeah.
But on the inside of it, it's lined with tinfoil. That way, it doesn't screw with everybody on the outside, but it keeps you protected on the inside.
That's a good idea. I feel like that's actually a really good idea.
Well, I mean, what can I say?
Yeah. It's too expensive to make like a shungite cap.
Let me find out. I'm gonna be walking around with like a crown of shungite.
There you go.
Like, you know how I was telling Roberto about the belt?
Oh yeah.
Did you read that?
Yeah, the shungite belt.
Yeah, it has a hell of a perimeter on it.
Oh yeah. You just be non-affected, non-bothered.
If you want to use your phone or Bluetooth, step away from it.
You gotta take your pants off.
Oh yeah.
Gotta take your belt off.
I was waiting for an excuse to do that anyway.
I was waiting for a reason to take my belt off. It's like, shoot, I'm out in Walmart, gotta make a call. Down they go. In just a minute. But all right, everybody, we appreciate you if you made it this far. Go out and do something good for yourself today, or good for somebody else. Be kind to others and
keep those vibrations high.
Keep them high and stay alert. Head on a swivel. We love you, and we hope you give love to the world today. But that's going to do it for today, for myself and for the guys. Y'all can say bye.
Peace, homies.
Oh, yeah. We're not promised tomorrow, so let's make the best of today.
All right.
Peace out.
We'll catch you on the next one.